I was thinking about today's video and realized as I was looking at the lineup of things I'm going to share, it's just not all that exciting. These are pretty humdrum, basic things that I have rediscovered this month, but that does not make them any less vital. I really am committed to keeping this real and authentic and not creating something just for the sake of sharing it. This reflects kind of the July that I have had here in Texas. It has been so freaking hot that no one, particularly me, who really does not enjoy being in the out of doors, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I have just gotten frustrated with the heat and there's really no way to escape it. So I'm sharing with you today some things that have really caught my attention over the past month, and they're just not as jazzy as I would like them to be, but we're gonna press through and do it anyway. So let's get started. First on my list of favorite things from the month of July is a yogurt. This yogurt is called Siggi's. I do not like pre-fruited yogurts because they tend to be so sweet. I'm out. Siggi's prides itself on being high in protein, low in sugar, and I don't know what this means, but it's made in the style of Icelandic skyr. S-K-Y-R. I haven't researched what skyr is. They have all the standard flavors that you would typically expect to find in a yogurt. Then they have some really fun ones like passion fruit and orange ginger. They have coconut. They all taste like fruit without tasting like sugar. And my favorite thing to do with Siggi's is to cut up a green apple or a crunchy green pear that I've kept in the refrigerator so it's nice and cold, and then dip the fruit into the yogurt like a fruit dip. It's very filling, it's very flavorful, and I'm enamored. I'm enamored with Siggi's. Number 2 on my list of July favorites is something called Barre3. This is their logo. This is their exercise ball. Barre3 is an online subscription-based workout platform where you stream videos that work out in your home. Barre3 has a philosophy of empowering from within to strengthen your mind, your body, and to listen to what you need in the moment. And what I love is when I'm doing the workout, the modifications are not seen as less than or weaker than. It's an empowering, strengthening position to listen to your body and make adjustments so that you can get the strongest, most effective workout for your body. I'm going to link below in the body of this blog post to a blog post on the Barre3 blog that just nails the philosophy of what makes this exercise platform so different. It is tough. It is not easy. You are most of the time using your own body weight as resistance, which is my favorite. I never regret spending those 30 minutes or 40 minutes doing the workout. I feel like they have built a community and a brand that is all about making people feel good in their own skin and listening to where they are. And so one of the things in July, I have rediscovered Barre3. I love it, and I would encourage you to check it out. Number 3 on my list of July favorites is by far the most dull, but I'm gonna share it anyway. I have discovered Google Calendar, and that is neither new nor exciting because half the world has discovered Google Calendar. I discovered Google Calendar in concert with discovering something called block scheduling. Again, I'm sure most of the world knows about this. I'm not innovating here, but this has been life-changing for me, and it might be for you too. Block scheduling is a way to be proactive about getting things done. Instead of making a list and then hopefully checking them off and trudging through the to-do list, block scheduling says assign a task a block of time, and blocking it out on the calendar and seeing a visual representation of the time that a task takes is life-changing for me. When you block out, I know that it takes an hour to do this task, so I'm inserting an hour. Now I can see visually that hour is no longer available. It's not unlike beginning to pay for everything with cash, and when the money's gone, the money's gone. This is kind of like cash envelope system for time, because you can set blocks, and when the time's gone, the time's gone. I have gotten so much more done than I normally get done. I will definitely do an update probably mid-November on how this is actually working, or maybe January once we come out of the holiday season. That will be the true test for me, because it gets bananas busy. So check it out, Google Calendar and block scheduling. Number 4 on my list of July favorites, it's a hair product. It's a hair product. Hair is not a one size fits all thing, and so I really hesitate to share a product because everybody is different. But in case you and I are hair twins, I would really want you to know about this. My problem lately, and when I say lately, I mean like I've been trying to solve this problem probably for a good 2 years, is I can make my hair look the way I want it to look in my bathroom when I get ready for the day. And then I literally walk from the parking lot into work and it looks ridiculous. Not ridiculous. This is not, I'm going to be kind to myself. It doesn't look the way that it looks when I left my house. It looks, frizzy is not the right word. It just looks kind of fuzzy. Like it doesn't look like hair anymore. You know, hair is soft and smooth and, you know, maintains its shape. It would start to look just like fuzzy. And then I discovered a product by Living Proof. This is called No Frizz Humidity Shield. This spray has, for me, solved in the middle of the hottest summer one of my most challenging hair problems. It really creates a shield between my hair and the moisture that's in the air. It's working for me. It's actually working. And for the first time in a really long time, I feel like I may have figured out parts of my hair that I haven't been able to figure out my entire life. But Living Proof No Frizz Humidity Shield. Okie dokie, Smokey. Number 5 on my list, this seems to be a recurring theme, is a book. This book is called The E-Myth. I try to read this as a business owner every year. If I had to pick 5 books that I could not live without as a small business owner, this is number 1. If you own a small business, you need to read this book. If you are thinking about starting a small business, you need to read this book. The E-Myth is that people who are good at a certain skill, like a carpenter or a piano teacher or a hairdresser or a baker or anything, insert anything that you have a skill doing, and you create a sentence that says something like, I should start my own beauty salon, carpentry business, bakery, nail salon, I don't know, anything. Most people assume that because they are good at something, that if they start a business doing that, they're going to have a successful business. And I'm here to tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. When you start a small business centered around a skill, what happens is you now have to get good at another skill. If you are not good at the skill of running a business, you are never going to have a successful business. And the second that you decide to take a skill and start a business, you now have to work on the business. And you may not be working in the business anymore in order to make sure the business survives. It makes you nervous to hear that. This book talks and addresses the E-Myth, the entrepreneur myth, and tells you how you can run a successful business doing something you love and not lose who you are in the process, or at least not long term. You're going to lose part of who you are in the process if you start a small business, because it's kind of like having a child or triplets, as in my case. I highly recommend this book. In fact, if you read this book and would like to talk about it, I would love to hear from you. I love talking about it, so let me know if you read this book. I'd love to have coffee and chat. Okie dokie, 6th and final thing that I discovered in July. I don't have a prop for this one, but I am going to link to the recipe below. It's called Oven Fried Hot Honey Chicken. Let me unpack that entire title. Oven fried means basically it's crispy on the outside, but you're not gonna fry it. It is coated and baked in the oven, but it is very crispy. Hot honey is exactly what it sounds like. It's honey and spices and some butter that is melted together into this unbelievable concoction and then drizzled on top of the hot, crunchy chicken when it comes out of the oven. My mouth is literally watering. It's insanely good, but hear me say, this is super important, do not miss this point. But the recipe as printed, the hot honey sauce is very hot. In my opinion, too hot. I think it calls for something like 2 to 3 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, which I kind of want to think is a misprint. That's way too much cayenne pepper for the amount of sauce that you're making. It's like 4 tablespoons of butter and 4 tablespoons of honey. What I would suggest to you is make it as written. Start with, I'm not kidding, start with a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, particularly if you're serving it to children. I think we made it this past week. I doubled the amount of honey because I was doubling the chicken recipe. I think I landed on a 1/2 teaspoon, maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and it was spot on. Run, don't walk. You guys, I can't, like, it's so good. I'm not even kidding a little bit. Like, this is worth it. If you make one thing this summer, this has definitely become one of our mainstays for family dinner this summer. So there you have it. My favorites from July. A little scattered, a little all over the map, a little unexciting, and yet all of them are things that have kind of changed my life this summer. I can't wait to see you for August.